When Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl was revealed, outside of the fast-paced gameplay, many people were excited about the prospect of alternate costumes for the various Nickelodeon characters. So it came as a pretty big shock when the game dropped and there were 0 alternate costumes, not even basic color swaps. Mirror matches were literally the exact same character model fighting each other, with a name tag being the only thing that was able to help distinguish who was who. Well, that shock is about to be squashed. First off, it was confirmed that alternate costumes are on the way, and the developers have been very forthright with their plans and stuff, so that's very exciting. But even better is we have a full data mine leak that reveals many of these characters' alternate costumes. Now, for some background, when the game came out, it of course had a day 1 patch like most games do. This is so they can get the game out on servers or physical hardware, but they can still make tweaks in the event that they find bugs or have some things that they want to finish up. Well, it turns out in what we'll call version 0, the version of the game that we were never supposed to see, many of these alternate costumes were in the data files. But the day 1 patch removed these files from the game, which is why we're stuck with the literal mirror matches we have right now. But we've been slowly getting data out of this game, and a video recently dropped that showed all of the known planned costumes for the game. Smash modder, and I guess Nickelodeon modder now, Ghost Soup uploaded a video showcasing all of the costumes that were removed from version 0 of the game, which are presumably going to be some of the costumes that we're going to see in the official patch. It's not entirely clear why these were removed, but perhaps they couldn't have the full roster ready, so maybe that's why they figured it would be better to have none than only some. It's also unclear whether each character gets only 1 costume, or if this is just what happened to be in the game at the time, and they'll each have 4 costumes or so, but we'll talk about that more in a minute. So let's take a look at all of these costumes taken from Ghost Soup's video. A huge shout out to Ghost Soup because they gave me high quality screenshots that I could use for this video, so go and check out their Twitter and their YouTube. Now, most of these costumes are hats or cosmetic changes, with only a couple of them being basic palette swaps. So the first costume is SpongeBob's, which is the soda drinking hat that belonged to Smitty Werber Jaegerman Jensen.
He was number 1!
This is a pretty funny costume, and it's definitely one that I didn't see predicted too much. Patrick's alt has him wearing a cowboy hat. With the number of memes that are referenced in this game, it would not at all surprise me if it was a reference to this meme. But on the other hand, it could also be a reference to the Dirty Dan episode of SpongeBob. Sandy's alternate costume comes from the sports episode of SpongeBob, where she plays basketball in this exact same getup, with a sweatband on her helmet and a jersey. Aang's outfit has him throw on a hat, which in the series was always an attempt to cover up his tattoos because they were a dead giveaway that he was the Avatar. Lincoln's outfit puts him in a black beanie, while Lucy's gives her sunglasses, both of which are references to different Loud House episodes. Ren and Stimpy are both wearing Santa hats, which is a really weird reference to a VHS cover for a Christmas episode of the Ren and Stimpy show. And as far as I know, they don't even wear these hats in the episode, it's literally only on the cover. Zim's outfit is based on Zim disguised as a human. So this one isn't so much a hat as it is some hair, although it would be really cool to see the fake eyes that he wears as a part of the final costume. CatDog's alternate gives them both party hats, which is obviously a reference to a birthday party episode of the show. Nigel Thornberry's alt is again a hat, being one of his classic safari hats that he occasionally wore on the Wild Thornberries. Both Michelangelo and Leonardo have all black and white costumes, which are references to the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles' origins as comic book characters, occasionally in black and white. These costumes are super sick in my opinion. I think they still need a little bit of polish and maybe like a cel-shaded stylized border or something, but honestly, this type of costume, it's my cup of tea. April's alternate puts her in a different colored jumpsuit, and it turns out this alternate is based on an old action figure from like the 90s, which I think is really cool. It's a super obscure reference. Powdered Toast Man's costume changes his colors fairly significantly, and it's based on his first appearance in the Ren and Stimpy show before he became a more consistent character and had a more official design. Reptar's was obvious to anyone who has seen 8 seconds of the Rugrats. In the show, Reptar is officially green, but there is a purple variant of Reptar that makes an appearance from time to time, so this one was a no-brainer costume. Helga's alt gives her a red, white, and green color scheme, and to be honest, I really couldn't pin down an exact reference to this. It feels really Christmassy, so maybe there's a Christmas episode where she has a similar appearance, but that's all I can really come up with. And lastly is Danny Phantom, who is probably my favorite despite how simple it is. In the opening theme song of the show, Danny is shown to go into the ghost portal, and then the accident happens that gives him ghost powers. And in the intro, we can see that it inverted exactly what he was wearing, and this color scheme is based on that original jumpsuit and his normal hair. And those are all of the costumes that have been found so far. One of the developers of Nick All-Star Brawl, and kind of the lead I guess you could say, is Thaddeus Cruz, and he used Sora's reveal in Smash Ultimate as a cryptic sort of way to leave a hint about All-Star Brawl, kind of hinting at 4-player matches and the use of alternate costumes. Actually, on further inspection, it seems like this is actually a jab at the legal side of things, looking at the replies to this tweet. It seems like Nickelodeon or Viacom are what are really putting the brakes on having alternate costumes in the game, and it's very likely that this is what stopped them from having them in the base game in the first place. Maybe they've got a very strenuous approval process for each and every alternate costume or alternate color, and so that's why they just couldn't be in the game in the first place. So maybe we'll see even more costumes once they finally drop them in the game, which I think would be great. I mean, you can do up to 4 players at once. If everyone chooses SpongeBob, it is going to be so confusing. So here's hoping that we get alternate costumes dropped really, really soon. And that is everything that we know. So please, I would love to know what all of you guys think about these costumes down in the comments, and of course, what costumes you would love to see be in the game. Personally, I have to say my favorites are definitely the Reptar and Danny Phantom recolors, but I also really like Smitty Werben Jaegerman Jensen's hat. I think that's a really funny costume. But of course, I also have ideas that didn't make it into these leaked data mined costumes. SpongeBob as Doodle Bob, or Patrick wearing his The Patrick Show costume. And of course, there are characters in the game that don't have any alternate costumes yet, like Korra and Toph. I mean, it would be really easy to make short hair Korra or Fire Nation Toph. Those are just a couple ideas that I had that I think would work really well in the final game. But with that is going to do it for this video. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please be sure to hit that like button and make sure to subscribe. And until then, I will see you guys next time. Peace out, and I hope you guys have an awesome day.
It was his hat, Mr. Krabs. He was number 1.